Good morning. We are out here in the garden today and we're going to get our first few things planted in the ground. It is currently April 1st and our last frost date for our area is mid-April. The forecast is looking pretty good to continue having nice weather, so I think we should be pretty good to get some things in the ground. However, the things that I am planting today are going to be things that are a little bit hardier and can withstand a hard freeze if we do get one. So you can see I have some black cow manure bags thrown in each of our garden beds. And that is just going to add some extra nutrients to our soil. The soil that we have currently in our garden beds are compost from our compost pile, as well as some soil from previous gardens that we have had. This is a new garden placement for us, so all of these beds are brand new. This whole entire area is brand new. So we're gonna throw that black cow manure, mix it in, and just make sure that we have those extra nutrients available for our plants, and just kind of starting them off to a good start, getting a good base soil going. And then obviously over the years, as we add more compost, we will get very rich and dense soil here. But since this is the first year, we are going to throw some extra stuff in there. We are not above using store-bought things on our property while we are getting up and going. So that's what we're going to do today. Basically, I'm going to take a knife, I'm going to slice them open, dump them out in each of the beds, and then spread it around with a rake and just get that very well mixed into the soil that is currently there. All right, so let's get it done. All right, so basically what I did there, I am just going to repeat in all the other beds, get that all done, and then we will pop back here and we'll get some stuff planted. All right, so we are back. I actually only ended up doing 2 beds. I did dump out all of the manure in the different beds, but due to the fact that I am working around nap times and 2 young children, I just did the beds that I needed, like actually raked in the manure and mixed it up. So I have those 2 beds ready, so I'm gonna be using this bed and then the 3rd bed down there. I'm gonna be doing blackberry bushes in this first bed and then strawberry plants in the 3rd. So I actually picked these up from one of our close friends yesterday that has a farm locally, and she does basically all organic gardening. They are pretty well established, and so she was nice enough to give me some blackberry bushes, and then also I bought some strawberry plants off of her. So we're gonna get those in the ground as soon as possible, just because they have been dug up since yesterday afternoon. So that's why it was kind of time restrained on, I need to at least get these 2 beds so I can get these things in the ground. So with the blackberry bushes, we're actually going to end up doing a trellis system. If you know anything about planting blackberry bushes, they do best with a trellis system. So I'm going to basically get them planted in a straight line here, and then we'll put a trellis system up down the center to support those bushes that are here. And then we're gonna put the strawberries in the far bed. I'm not sure how many plants I'm gonna be able to fit in there. On the conservative side, they should be like 18 inches apart, but you can plant them as close as 8 inches apart. I think I'm gonna try to stick around a foot apart, and I'm going to stagger them. So I'm going to get the most out of them that I can get in my bed without overcrowding them too much. I just have to find my shovel. I'm not sure where I put it. This looks like a little bit of a mess. Like I said, this is a new spot for our garden, and if I did not mention, we are heavily into red clay country, so that is why we have to put a lot of work in for our soil to be what we want it to be, which again takes time. So you can see like the piles of red clay. I'm going to try my best not to backfill it with the red clay, but we got to do what we got to do. So I have each of the plants that I'm going to put in here. I basically dug it out for each one to fit in there, and I'm going to get these planted, and then I'm going to put some mulch and we're going to get them watered. So now we are over at our strawberry bed, and I have roughly marked out where I'm going to put the plants. I will say that I overestimated how many I would be able to fit in one single bed. So we might actually end up with 2 beds of strawberries, which is perfectly fine because we had an extra bed for our plans that we had this year anyway. Like I mentioned, this is our first year with this garden. We have plans for peppers and tomatoes, beets, carrots, potatoes are getting planted out in the front yard, lettuce, just some like really staple fruits and vegetables just for our first year to get up and going, and then with the hope that eventually we will expand this garden, which is why we're not doing super permanent fencing yet. So I'm just going to go ahead. I have this little tool. I'm not sure how it's gonna work, but I'm just gonna hopefully be able to pop out to dig the holes and then pop the plants in. And then same thing that I did with the blackberries, I'm probably gonna mulch all around it, give it a good water, and let it go. First and foremost, I just wanna say thank you to our friends over at Freedom Haven Farm for the lovely strawberry plants and the lovely blackberry bushes. They are good friends of ours, they're lovely people. And yeah, so thanks for the plants, and we are excited to have a piece of your farm in our garden. So I actually didn't mention the spacing on these. They are ideally, I think, supposed to be around 18 inches apart. However, I saw that you can do them 12 inches apart within a bed. So we're gonna give that a try, see how it goes. Hopefully they're not overcrowded. If they are, we can thin them out in upcoming seasons and try to keep them under control. I'm also doing a staggered pattern, so I have 6 and 6 along the edges and then 5 along the center. So it gives them some extra space in between. I don't think I mentioned that this area is mostly sun most of the day, so we're getting full sun exposure here. We're just starting to get into the late afternoon. It's 4:30 right now, and the shade from the trees is just starting to shine, or I guess not shine, over the garden. But for the most part, this is sun all day long. So this I would consider full sun. Some of these are scooping out beautifully, and some of them not so much. So I'm gonna have to go back over and most likely hit them with a shovel before I plant them fully. And I'm just lightly covering these and lightly patting it down so that they have air and space and I'm not crushing them. I might have the perfect amount. 3, and then there's one over there, make 4, and I have 4 more holes. I think these might be 2 separate ones. Just a little bit entwined. Entangled. The roots. I'm going to try to carefully get them apart. There we go. Perfect. Alright, perfect. Got them all in the ground. And like I said, I'm probably going to do another bed of these because I have a whole nother pack, which 17 is in here. Yeah, 17 plants are in here, and I got 30, so there should be 13 in the other pack. So we should have plenty to do another one, and we will never complain about extra strawberries. With toddlers, I'm sure some of you know, you go through so many berries that there's never enough strawberries. So I'm sure we're going to spend our entire summer out here just eating strawberries fresh off the plants. All right, that wraps it up. We got our strawberry plants planted. We got our blackberry bushes planted. I'll probably come back at some point and do a video of the trellis system that we decide to do on the blackberry bushes. And then obviously planting the rest of the plants once they are ready to come out. They're still inside. Still need to get them a little bit bigger and hardened off before we can bring them out. Rule of thumb we normally use is around Mother's Day would be planting seedlings outside. So we'll see. It's been really nice out, so we might be able to do it sooner. All right, guys, thanks for hanging around, and we'll see you next time.